Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Sonic the Hedgehog here, and today I'm with... Hey, it's me, Mario here. Hey everyone, we are back for some more of the Maxi Toys videos, of course. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Let's Play, or every brony or pony fans out there. Welcome back to more Let's Play of My Little Pony Harmony Quest for the iPhone devices and Android devices. So, last time we actually did manage to collect every single, stained glass windows for the most part, and also we obtained the Generosity Stone for rarity. So even though only half of it, I'm afraid, but eventually we'll get even more stained glass window pieces in addition to basically pretty much completed through everything. So even though that hopefully we can actually beat it for this game quite literally fast and quick, because as a result, we usually did this in a nice speed run through. So even though, yeah. So for this today's video is the fact that we're going to be continuously obtaining those different stained glass window pieces, in addition to actually obtaining those other pieces of the Elements of Harmony right there. So even though that, let's go ahead and select, based off of from Season 6 episode called Viva Las Pegasus episode, which you know how the fact that episode works out is that Fluttershy and Applejack are about to be on a quest to able to actually just get a friendship problem onto that location. So even though, except the fact that we're going to be chasing down the Changeling from, you know, Cloudsdale as far as you might see. So not much else we can talk for this point, ladies and gentlemen, or every brony out there. Besides the fact that well, we actually got into the halfway points of the game quite literally fast and quick. Well, not exactly halfway point of it yet, but hopefully we'll get to that down the road. So even then though, that we can able to actually just get this thing going, so you know. So if you probably do not know already, is that tomorrow, after this video releases, and even the next couple of parts is on its way, the My Little Pony the Movie DVD on UK is about to be released tomorrow, so even though for UK audience out there, so even though that, well, obviously they get the DVD on here, in addition to the Blu-ray ever since the first Equestria Girls, but even then, I have no idea they can't be bothered to actually re-releasing, those previous seasons of the actual show in Blu-ray. I don't know what it is, but even then, I kind of wish it actually has that though, ever since then, so... But at least, the only MLP projects that's been going on for Blu-ray's department will definitely have to be the first Equestria Girls, because even then, they haven't done the sequels of Equestria Girls in the Blu-ray format, which I don't know why they can't be bothered to do that. But at least the movie some credit for, the actual movie 2017 version, they've now got the Blu-ray release, so even then, I believe they get ourselves a triple pack edition for, you know, the Blu-ray, DVD, and a digital copy download. Well, specifically the digital download version. You know how Meteor stuff is usually can do every nowadays, especially noticeable how the fact that, well, ever since, I could assuming PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, or even PlayStation Portable, and even Nintendo 3DS, that you can now able to download those games into your social media downloads. Well, digital versions, I should say. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of digital downloads, honestly, because it feels like whatever way we so used to with physical releases of those particular games worth noting for, sometimes we always thought to ourselves that, well, I just couldn't help it for myself to actually get ourselves a physical releases. So, you know, like game cases and everything. So, anyway, now we're going to be jumping into Canterlot yet again, but this time we're going to be selecting both Rarity and Rainbow Dash based off of Season 5 episode called, is it Rarity Investigates? I'm pretty sure yes, but except the fact that it doesn't take place well, it takes place in Canterlot, which even then, that makes it a little bit of a perfect opportunity to able to actually jump into the Canterlot location, so... yeah, as far as you might as well just have to see how this will turn out, so anywho. And again, you know, not much else we can just try to actually talk for this point, folks, besides the fact that, we just managed to take myself a break for a bit on Kingdom Hearts Final Mix still, because even then though that, usually I just got a ton of uploads from that particular game, because, you know, it's gonna be our biggest project ever in our YouTube channel so far, but even then, not much views, I'm afraid, though, as far as you might as well just consider how this will be a well, I don't know, uninteresting version of, you know, the Let's Play of that particular game on the PS3 or PS4, or even especially the Japanese version on the PlayStation 2. But even then, that's as far as I can try to able to discuss upon. So, and the second thing we actually noticed that, and the next thing we'd like to talk about then for this point, folks, is the fact that I've now finally able to actually completely done with Luigi's Mansion 2. Because even then though, I don't know if how the fact that, well, I don't know what do I think about it, because even then though, there are some other 3DS games where I'd like to able to actually just go ahead and just able to complete some, and even especially noticeable just playing them in general. So even then though, that's suppose, you know, this will be concerns for completionists as far as it will go. That's all I can try to able to think of it so far. Well, besides your Kingdom Hearts stuff after all. Yeah, in those in the HD re-release versions of the game, so even then, you know, for the PS3 on PS4, and even the original versions of the game as well, so, not much, but hey. And eventually we'll be able to get into the Metroid series titles on the forms of the 2D Metroid ones, and especially Metroid Prime Universe 2, because even then, after all, you know the Metroid Prime Force will be on its way, so even then, oh yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and enter in the main Manhattan, but this time, we're still gonna keep Rainbow Dash into our team. Well, but replacing Rarity is the forms of Twilight Sparkle, which is, you know, based off of from the episode from Season 6 also, but except it usually calls it in episode 24, Top Bolts. So even then, that's why how both Twilight Sparkle and Rainbow Dash are gonna able to team up together to able to actually, you know, trying to fix every single friendship issues and all that stuff, and during the Cloudsdale, but except we're gonna be traversing through, you know, Manhattan, as far as I might as well see how this turns out, but still. Alright, so let's go ahead and just draw this little scaling line where we do need to avoid those different branches and all that stuff. I'm not sure what these branches are usually named for, but even then, it has been a long while since we saw the show, so even then, know that specifically the past seasons, because the stupid thing about the entirety of the show, I don't blame on that, it's just the fact that sometimes copyright issues can be a little bit problematic, especially noticeable how, you know, some other cartoons does have a copyright issues on YouTube, which even then, it does attempt to have their sort edition. Especially noticeable how the fact that we get ourselves a copyright claim for those specifically modern Nintendo titles like Super Mario 3D World, and I'm possibly presuming Mario Kart 7 so far. And especially noticeable with the, what else? Is it like New Super Mario Bros. U and somewhat? I'm assuming this might be true. But, we'll just try to able to figure this out. Plus, we have claimed the, I don't know if you noticed, I haven't sort of mentioned about this, and during the likes of the Kingdom Hearts, Final Mix Let's Play, that, I apologize for the beginning part of that particular Let's Play, because due to the copyright issues between not only our intro at the moment in 2018 rendition of that particular The Maxi Toys intro, but also during the likes of the Kingdom Hearts Final Mix introduction music. So even then though, that's only because, well, that's all usually happens though, really. Okay, so let's go ahead and traverse through Everfree Forest as Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie. So even then though, I believe these two are usually the main focus, besides Applejack and Rainbow Dash, are in forms of, what's that episode's called? Buckball Season? Yeah, it's Buckball Season from Season 6 as well, so seriously, we're gonna be mentioning those particular referencing for those particular episode shows so far with these specific characters we're using, so, but again, no platforms or anything like that, but besides we just have to like continuously mashing a button in the bottom right corner of the screen. However though, there's one thing we haven't mentioned about this, as you can see on the top left corner, there's actually this little icon, which is a home icon. This will take you back to the main menu, so if you want to give up on mashing those kinds of stuff, although we don't mind to be honest, but except the fact that it will tires you out with your hands sometimes, but even then, if you want to able to get some rest, or especially if you want to have enough, then simply just able to actually click on the home icon, and that's all you're really trying to do here. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you want to able to actually hit those musical notes, because you can simply just tap in any screen so that you would able to actually get this ghost string just in the right time. So yeah, this one can just come by. Right, so we got these little parasprites, as far as what these creatures are known as. Yeah, because those parasprites were heavily based off of you know, Swan of the Century episode in Season 1 back in the day. But even then though, this is, as far as that show's concerned about this, is that, jeez, this show is almost 8 years old. Like, even then, we actually got into 2018 so far, and so far though we got about, let's just say 8 months left until the 8th year anniversary of the actual show itself. Yeah, which is kind of crazy, kind of thing about it though, Mario. Gotta say that. Excuse me. Gotta say that much about now. Yeah, you do realize you're just belching right there. Oh, do apologize for that, folks, because that was disgusting. Anyway, so now let's go ahead and move on back to Ponyville and get that little tree stained glass window. Whilst we get the elements of harmony during later down the road, but for now, let's select Rarity and Applejack. So even then though, that's usually, well, based off of Look Before You Sleep episode from the likes of, you know, Season 1. So, anywho though, yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but that little cringe-worthy music has been going on here, but that's only because I just, you know, just want to put things up with one of the cooler musics in that particular run-through of the game instead of that generic, bland music, in my opinion. Just because, well, it always feels like a Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric tone to it, but except, well, it doesn't feel as glitchy or as buggy as for that stupid, awful, freaking. I'm sorry. It's just, I just really still despise that game so ever goddamn much. But at least we give Sonic 06 some credit for the amazing soundtrack. And also, visuals do look a bit passable at some points, but even then, the gameplay itself probably is the most miserable excuse for a 3D Sonic game, even to this day. But even then though, I would say the same thing for, well, at least I found Sonic Forces to be quite an okay game, but not the best in the entire series in my opinion. But granted, that's only because of Classic Sonic is easily the worst aspect about the game. And the only interesting part about the game, actually, in my opinion though, is the forms of, first off, the customization character has been so unique. Especially noticeable with the modern Sonic's boost formula has been welcome in return ever since, you know, Sonic Generations, after 6 whole years since the entire absence of the boost formula. Yeah, which I honestly agree onto that one though. Okay, so we got ourselves the apple tree over there, which I think that's what this little design is all about. So, yeah, we actually gone so far so good with this progression. And we've now finally got ourselves the stained glass window for Rarity, I just realized. And the majority of the actual sections could be summed up as like getting the elements of Harmony Syndrome. So, let's go for Rainbow Dash, Rarity, and should we go for Applejack? Okay, so this might be the character selection with sort of another reference to something based off of not just one episode, but also 2 episodes. One from Season 3 and one from Season 6, which Season 3 is your forms of Sleepless in Ponyville, which that was by far one of the best episodes in Season 3 by far. And especially noticeable with the carts before the ponies, which is more accurately in Season 6, Episode 14. Which, you know, that episode is entirely inspired by Mario Kart franchise, although, unlike Mario Kart, is that they don't have item system, and especially noticeable, there's no actual race to it. Instead, it's just replaced as a, well, a cheesy song, if you might as well say so. But even then though, as far as I've noticed, is that that particular episode is probably the weakest episode in Season 6 by far. But even then though, that's only because of how the fact that, I don't know what it is for me. But even then, I don't mind it too much. Besides, it's, you know, the one cool thing about that episode to me is that it feels like almost like a Mario Kart episode. Or even then, almost like a Mario Kart movie. But even then, I don't know exactly for sure though. Okay, so let's take down this fire so that we can able to restore this little rainbow puddles right over there. Or even for the rainbow puddle like this, which is your forms in during the weather factory, which that's what that particular location that's all about. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed on the bottom part of the screen there. Sometimes what the actual annoying part about my iPhone, especially the iPad devices every now and then, is that every time you've accidentally swiped into something, mainly the top and bottom, especially notable where we're going to be using the horizontal position with those recording sessions. Sometimes it gets in my way sometimes, even especially noticeable when we're trying to concentrate on things. Okay, so we got ourselves our first part, or the first piece, of the Elements of Harmony. I believe this is based off from Loyalty, because the previous one we've already got is the Forms of Generosity. So, and now let's go ahead and move on to Canterlot again, but this time with Twilight Sparkle, and we're still going to keep Rarity and Applejack, based off from the episode in Season 1, Look Before You Sleep. So even then though, at least we got Twilight Sparkle into our hands. So, even then, I believe the Elements of Harmony piece is actually forms of friendship is, the element of magic, as far as I'm trying to able to research on those kinds of stuff like this. So even then, I think you might be right though, Sonic. Yeah, because based off of, you know, the first ever episode of the actual show itself. Now, I've heard this from the Ralph the Get-Go though, Sonic, is that they bring up a lot of leaks so far for that particular show so far. Like, for instance, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure that Season 9 is going to be the final season of the actual Gen 4, which I feel a little bit sad, honestly, because it has been a really great show so far, even especially noticeable that it's almost a 10-year-old run-through until when it gets to 2020 at some point. Yeah, which I honestly agree. So anyway, let's go ahead and toss the apple and grab the key. Well, usually the key is already untamable, so that means we've automatically obtained that. So, anywho. And also I've noticed is that, until when it gets to, I could assuming in 2020 they're gonna be releasing the Gen 5 in during 2020. I don't know exactly for sure just yet. But until when it gets to either, I don't know, 2019 or something like that, we get ourselves a proper, the prequel movie, I don't know. But again, it's all about leaks though, so it cannot be trusted if it's true. But still, sometimes it's hard to predict if it's true or not. So, anywho. Alright, so since we actually gotta get closer to that changeling as soon as we're able to try to catch up. And we catch up to him, no problem. So yeah, we go through all that. So I believe we're in halfway, or actually we're in the 25% of the Elements of Harmony collecting. So even then though that still we got ourselves these stained glass windows to be collected though on the other hand. So let's close that. Yeah, because we don't have time for games for renting a game or anything. So I believe next up we're going to be moving on to Everfree Forest again, but this time with Fluttershy joining our team, and we're going to be keeping Twilight Sparkle and Rarity, which is a reference to an episode also from Season 1 called Stairmaster. The one time that, how the fact that Fluttershy is going to be, you know, keep an eye on the Cutie Mark Crusaders onto her cottage, and then basically the fact that one of the main enemy in that particular episode, which is in forms of a cockatrice, it's like a chicken's head and the body of the snake and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure that's what you're trying to say about this, Mario. Yeah, no, because that's what I was trying to get any other details, as far as I might as well just trying to hint at that monster is what this looks like. But I digress though, but even then though, that is actually a really good episode, come to think about it. But I digress, so let's go ahead and just fix these tree branches onto the correct spot. Thankfully these are little outcomes, or the shadows rather, just trying to keep you in track of how the fact that we're trying to place them. So, and I believe we're going to have to do a little bit of a key solving puzzle, while simply just able to swiping with the, you know, touch screen. So yeah, we get the idea. Yeah, with those keys though, Mario, it's actually more accurately based off from Season 4 finale, when there's like a Keys of Friendship syndrome. And then sometimes though that whenever they just manage to get there something precious and stuff like that, even though grantedly though, as we already mentioned this before, it has been a long while since we actually saw this show so far, and so when Season 8 is about to be revealed properly. So, speaking of such though, what I found super odd is that, wow, we technically saw Season 8 from earlier ago at the very end of the year in 2017, and I was like, are you kidding me? Even then though, that Season 8 wasn't exactly released yet. But still, you can't actually hard to predict on those kinds of stuff like that, but alright, so hopefully we're able to actually just try to finish him off, at least specifically for that changeling over there. And now we have obtained the Element of Harmony based off from kindness. So, yeah, I believe we only got 2 more of those halfway points of Elements of Harmony collecting. Which this means we're gonna be moving on to the Honesty, Element of Harmony piece, which is back in Ponyville, because even then, again, we'll save those stained glass window pieces for until we're after we trying to able to obtain through everything, like, you know, Elements of Harmony, pieces and all that stuff, but that's all I can come across, so, yeah, that's why I can try to talk about this first point. So, obviously, we're gonna be stuck with Applejack for the moment, and, we're gonna be selecting quite differently this time. We're gonna be still keeping, I believe we're gonna be adding Pinkie Pie, and now we're gonna be still keeping Fluttershy, so, here we go then. Of course, processing can take a really long time sometimes, especially noticeable when load times has been involved, but usually that's all how it happens. If you manage to downgrade to your, systems, especially in iPhone 5, 4, or 3 especially, although, ironically though, I don't really think anyone else is going to be buying iPhone 3 every nowadays, because iPhone 4 and later on, especially iPhone 8 and X, although except 9 though, because I have no idea why they've skipped iPhone 9 for some reason, but even then though, that, the reason why they're trying to able to actually not to, announced iPhone 9 is probably because they're trying to able to actually upgrade iPhone 10 immediately, but that's as far as we can actually just try to show the details of how the fact that some gathering information, so yeah, especially how the hardware did actually retains the fast processing, kind of like how it does it in the original 3DS or the original 3DS XL, and even especially noticeable with Nintendo 2DS. And even then though, they managed to upgrade it into a new Nintendo 3DS, which actually adds in a C-Stick, faster processing load times, especially downloads included, and Super Sculptic 3D, especially with the new Nintendo 3DS and 3DS XL, but the only exception is the forms of new Nintendo 2DS, because it doesn't have, you know, the 3D imagery. But besides that though, Sonic, at least in the new Nintendo 2DS actually has a clamshell this time. Yeah, at least we give that some credit for us, even though, unlike the original Nintendo 2DS, it doesn't have a clamshell, so yeah, as far as we can actually just try to see how this will turn out. We already said this a couple of times, didn't we? Well, at least for the most part though, anyway. So anyways, now we've got ourselves the Elements of Harmony piece based off from Honesty here, so I believe we're going to be moving on to the last level for this particular video, and then after that, then we're pretty much going to be moving on to getting the main rest of these stained glass windows. Kind of think about it though. And yeah, I've no idea why the game itself almost crashes for a moment there. That's the thing that kind of bugs me too. Like every time when we play some games on the iPhone devices immediately, sometimes the game attempts to crash and what have you, and then as a result we get kicked out and go back to the main home menu, at least specifically for, you know, the iPhone or iPad especially. That just really irritates me. Alright, so here we go, back into the Crystal Palace we go, and get ourselves the Element of Harmony, which is based off from Laughter. And of course we're going to be sticking with Pinkie Pie for now, and replacing Applejack and Fluttershy as both Rainbow Dash and Rarity. So I'm not sure what that episode is based off from with those three, but I don't know exactly for when. But that's all we can try to think of, so anywho. Hopefully we can catch up to him so fast and quick. You see, one of the things I'm not overly keen on in this, to be honest, and obviously forms of how the fact that, whenever you turn on the narrator on, especially notice of how the voice acting is about to be included, you know how the fact that the main 6 doesn't have the voice acting after all, but the noticeable exception is the forms of the narrator herself. But even then, sometimes she always says like the exact same dialogue every time whenever you're trying to catch up to the changeling and everything, like, you're getting on it, and also, almost there. So even then, that's why I usually teaches some of the kids after all, which I understand. But every time when this happens, it just starts to get really old really fast in my opinion, just because of how the fact that, well, I don't know about you, Mario, but even then, I just get a feeling for those little impatiency and all that stuff. I know about you, but even then, you kind of wish of how the fact that this main 6 actually has a homing attack or something like that, but they don't have it though, so. Okay, so let's obtain the third and final crystal right there, and we've managed to get ourselves all 3 of them to Princess Cadance. Yeah, because we can tell for this little design over here, which, you know, her first appearance was obviously in Season 2 in the finale, so, which is, you know, it counts a lot wedding if you say so. Alright, so we got the halfway portion of the Element of Harmony syndrome. We've got 50% completion of that particular stuff. And let's simply say we got the endings off here, folks. So tune us next time. Let's play My Little Pony Harmony Quest for the iPhone devices / Android. It's the fact that we're going to be able to continuously obtaining those stained glass windows immediately. And I don't know how long this will take though, Sonic, but at least we can get those fast as possible. But anyway, see you guys next time for that. Later, fellas.